Welcome back to Eyewitness News this morning. We're joined by Charley O'Hara. Here are your legal questions. We already have a couple callers on the line with some questions here. So first caller, if you're there, go ahead now and ask your question to Charley.
Yes. My question is, what is the process when you go to court for eviction?
Well,
and how soon are you going to be evicted if that's the case?
Well, actually, you can evict someone pretty quickly. The courts are set up to move that pretty quickly, but you have to give someone a 3-day notice if it's for non-payment of rent. If it's for another reason, you usually got to give them at least a 30-day notice. After you give them that notice, the courts accelerate you to get in the courts. I mean, it's still going to take some time. Nothing in court happens immediately. It takes a little while, but if the people are cooperative in leaving and things like that, you can get out pretty quickly. If they're not, it's going to take a little bit of time, but still it's pretty quick.
Are there any circumstances for immediate eviction?
I don't think so. I mean, you've always got to give somebody some notice. I mean, one thing in the law always requires is notice to people before you do something to them.
Right.
I mean, we have to give them notice so they can get ready to respond. And proper notice is always required in everything in the law.
Okay, we do have another caller on the line with a question. Caller, go ahead with your question to Charley.
Yes, I was curious of what legal action I could take if I was to have been assaulted by a security guard at the hospital after being admitted.
Well, that all depends on the circumstances of how that happens. Obviously, people aren't supposed to go around beating people up anywhere they are. Obviously, when you go to a hospital, there's certain things and there's certain rules that we have to abide by. If someone goes in there and they're not acting right, the hospital has to keep order. I don't know what the circumstances are, but if someone's violated the law or done something to you, you can always file an action against them civilly, which means sue them for money. If it's a criminal type situation, you can call either the Wichita Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, or the District Attorney's Office and report that criminal act. If they think there's enough evidence to charge a criminal act, they can do that.
And Charley, one case we've been talking about is the case where a man is accused of torturing a boy in Wichita, a teenager, and the family said they want it prosecuted as a hate crime, but there's a different standard for a hate crime specifically. What is that standard?
Well, it's actually got to be done for the reasons of the hate. In other words, if a group of people are going out and looking for some minorities solely because they want to find the minority and beat them up, that would be a hate crime. If you get into a fight with someone and make racial slurs and things like that during the course of that, that would not be a hate crime.
All right. Thanks so much, Charley, for clarifying that for us. We'll see you guys back here in just a moment.